Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and anybody that's new, welcome. My name is Debbie, I'm the Crafty Shopper. Today we are going to do some nautical, kind of like a shadow box using some tumbling tower, aka Jenga blocks from Dollar Tree. You can find these in the kids section. Sometimes they're on the end caps. You can ask a manager. They do come, the old packaging is blue. I have the brown packaging. You can order them online if they're not in your store, and some stores in the US, depending on your location, you can get some shipped to your store for free. You would just have to check online and see what if your location is available. Also too, you can get them shipped to your house, but that would cost you extra dollars for shipping. Sometimes DollarTree.com, if you sign up for their newsletter, they'll send you a 50% shipping off coupon that you can use to get them delivered straight to your house as well. I'm going to use Wellbond as just my preference of glue, and you can use any glue you want, except as long as it's for wood. You could use Gorilla Glue. You can use Dollar Tree has wood glue. I don't suggest using any hot glue at all unless you're just gluing an existing piece onto maybe something with the Jenga blocks. It's just you're going to have a longer, better hold with using any type of wood glue. You can also get the L-shaped Carpenter square ruler from Dollar Tree. Is in the hardware section. It's really good to have it to make sure your blocks get nicely glued straight in lines. If you're doing a big long line like this, keeping them nice and straight, or vice versa, whatever way you're doing it and you want to do sections like that. Now I do pre-glue some of my sections together, which I will go over and let you know the numbers, only because it just makes the video not as long. And if you ever have any questions, you can always reach out to me on my Crafty Shopper page on Facebook and send me a message and I can help you there. So now we're going to start with the back, and I'm going to start like this. So the total number of blocks we are going to use for this one is 100. So that's just a box. The size is 72 blocks, so it's about 1.25 blocks that you will need for this project. We are going to add 2 things onto it from Dollar Tree, but we're going to do this part first. We're going to need a row of 12. So we're going to say flat, meaning that they're glued side by side. Glue here flat. And when I say stacked, but I'm just going to say stacked, was when you glue it the wider edges together, but we are not doing stacked, just flat in this video. So you got 1 row of 12, 2 rows of 12, 3 rows of 12, 4 rows of 12, and 5 rows of 12. So the total amount for this will be 60. And then we're going to call this a side, and we're going to do the exact same similar thing. We're going to do a row of 4, another row of 4, another row of 4, another row of 4, and another row of 4. So that is 20 altogether. And because it's a side, we need 2 sides. We're going to get 2 like that, and the 2 of them together are 40, plus the 60 is 100. And I'm just going to start on the back one here. Now, this is always an option that I've started in my video over a year ago, and I like to use spackle. Now, I know Dollar Tree does have spackle. It's not the same as the one that I get here. I buy mine at Rona/Lowe's, and it's just hole filler that dry text that you can get at any hardware store, actually. This one here is white, and it's pink, and then it turns white once it dries. Now, I've done in the past, and I always just try to feel which side is a little bit smoother than one side than the other. And the great thing about the spackle when you're using it is that it actually makes the little corners and fills in the little holes, as you can see there, the edges. So when you paint it, it's just going to be a more of a smooth surface. And you're going to do that all on the one side of the, I'm not going to do the back of it. I'm just going to do the front part that you're going to see on the outside. And I am going to do it on both sides on the sides. And I'm going to, once that's dry, if you're new to my channel, I just use some nail buffers. I do have the square one. I don't have it beside me right now. You can find that in the hardware section. And it's just, it's a square looking black filer. And once it dries, I'm just gonna go over this now. It's probably not a good idea because it's not dry yet. And that's the great thing about this dry text one, is that it turns white, so you know when it's dry. Is that I'm just gonna file it nice and smooth on all 3 pieces. All right, so now that we have the 3 pieces done, Dollar Tree has these floating shelves. They come in the white and they also come in the black. And you're gonna need 2 of those. So 100 blocks, 100 pieces to make the 3 pieces, and 2 of these. Now you have the wider part and you could have the smaller section. I am gonna use the wider part, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take some glue and I'm just gonna use some Wellbond. I'm just gonna place it. I always find which one's better to go down. I'm just gonna put some glue on the bottom part here. And in the deeper cracks, I put a little bit more, so to make sure that it catches. I'm just gonna turn this side. Then we're gonna use the sides. And I'm just gonna put some right here. And on the bottom, I'm just gonna put it on the side here. And we're gonna do the exact same on the other side. I'm gonna add a little bit more. Okay. Now the bottom part, we're gonna place it on. We're gonna place it closer to the back edge. You're gonna take this part, and you're gonna make sure that the end is flush to the side. Oh, you know what? I did it wrong. I'm upside down. Even if this board sticks out just a little bit, that's fine. You're gonna grab the other side, glue in the bottom and there, so you don't wanna make a mistake like I did. And you're just gonna put it right like that. I'm just gonna press it lightly to make sure that it's even, and I feel my backboard is off a little bit, off the edge. And then you're gonna leave that on like that for about a half an hour. Just make sure you look on the sides here, that it's even, that you're not seeing the backboard, that you rather have the sides a little bit more. And we're gonna leave that for about a half an hour, just to make sure it's nice and glued on. Then we're gonna take the second piece, and if you were to hang it on the shelf, you would hang it upright. We're gonna turn it, and we're gonna have the smaller section, and you're just gonna put some glue right on. Make sure the back piece is facing the back piece, just like the bottom piece, and you're gonna glue that right on. Once I do that, I'm gonna leave this overnight to dry. Right, so I let it dry overnight. It came out really good. Now you notice I did it more to the back. I did go over and just add a little bit more Wellbond in the cracks. Now you can add another block going forward. You just gotta be careful that you have enough room. I just left it, and I thought just having it a little bit more open along the edge here would be a lot better. Just make sure when you're measuring it, if you do want to put an extra row in, because when I originally was playing around with the blocks, I noticed it didn't fit. And then when I tried it on one side, it was good, and the other side was off. And it's always because the blocks are just a little bit off. Some of them, they're not all perfectly rectangle. So I'm just going to keep it open, but if you do want to add a little bit more out, just be mindful that it does glue on properly. And putting the shelf upside down and the right side up on this way is you can actually, with the shelf facing the downwards, you can actually hang it up on the wall. So that's another good concept. If you try to do it with the shelves turned the other way, you're only going to have this little area to do anything, plus you're putting blocks, so it just gives you a smaller area if you flip the top this way and the bottom that way, if that makes sense. So now I'm just going to give it a coat of paint all the way around. I am just going to use some DT painter's tape and just around the edges of the top and the bottom. I don't want to get the white paint because they're already white. I just want to do all the inside and all the way around. All right, so now that I got it painted, I did quite a few coats on, and even did the back side as well. Now, I'm gonna keep this more neutral, and you can paint in the blues, the turquoise, whatever color you wanna do, but I'm gonna keep it a neutral color. So I got this one from Temu, and they're mini fishnet, because the fishnet that you get at Dollar Tree is really wide and big, where if you get the mini fishnet from Temu, it's a lot smaller. I'm gonna hot glue it, and I just want to keep it on an angle just similar to this. I'm gonna cut it a little bit better, and I'm just gonna hot glue it down. Now, if you don't have this, you could also use this, and it comes from Dollar Tree as well. You could use this to improvise the fishnet. Then I'm gonna hot glue some plants on the side. Now I'm gonna use a white one, but they do come in the purple depending on the colors you wanna do. This one had 4 or 5. I see 5 little pieces on it. You're gonna need 4, but I am gonna use the white one. I have this one bent. And I'm gonna keep longer, oops. I'm gonna hot glue this down and hot glue it onto the back. 2 taller pieces and 2 shorter pieces on the side. All right, so we're gonna put in the middle here. DT came out with these seahorses, and I was so excited when I seen them that I bought a few. And I think this would go really well, and that was my whole purpose of making this, was for the seahorse. Now, I'm not going to incorporate this, but I will show you. I did see in a couple craft groups, they're just the Christmas trees like this in Dollar Tree. And you can turn it upside down and cut the stem off, and you could put it in there somewhere or paint it a different color for coral. I had this on hand, not sure where I got it. It was in my crafting stash. I am just gonna stick the starfish there, and I'm just gonna take a couple of the gem glass stones, vase filler, as little bubbles coming up from the seahorse, just like that. All right, now that we have that glued in, I want to do a light on top, and there's a couple different options you can use. This one's just from DT, the push light. And I find it very bright. You can stick that in there like that, and it fits in perfectly. Now, if you put the other side, it would have been too narrow to put in. Now, you can just take this off. Now, what I'm going to do is paint this white so you don't see any black around the edging of it. And then you don't even need to put that on yet, because you can just screw it in on after. But the great thing about putting this on, if you have the top glued like that, when you need to change the batteries, you just have to pull it out, turn it back on. And when you glue it underneath, I'm just going to put some Wellbond glue here and just a little bit of hot glue there, so right away that it will just stick on. All right, now that we have that done, it's looking good. We're gonna do some sand, and I got some sand from Dollar Tree. It's just more of a lighter beige. They had 2 kinds, and I'm gonna go with a little bit lighter one than the darker one. I'm just gonna take some matte Mod Podge, and I'm just gonna paint along the edge of the seahorse, and around here I'm just gonna paint that on, and I'm just gonna put some sand right on top to seal it on. So I did 2 coats of the sand and underneath, and I did around, putting Mod Podge and then the second coat on. It's nice and dry. Now I have a couple things that I want to put in there, and you can put whatever you want in there. I just have some of the shells from trips I've been on and a few other things. I thought pearls would actually add a nice little look in there. DT, just with the little glass bottles. They come in various sizes. I have a little bit of sand and just a piece of white paper rolled up in there. And then in some of my stash, I found this coin. I don't even know what it is. It has little symbols on it. I think it was, I have no idea where this came from. I think it came in a pack of shells. I have no idea. So I thought it was just, you know, coin at the bottom of the ocean kind of look. I'm just going to incorporate them and just hot glue all the little shells and at the bottom of the shelf. And then we're going to move on to the top. All right, now we're going to move on to the top part right here. I wanted to put like a knob on it. I don't know why I had that inclination that I really wanted to do. These are from Dollar Tree, and it's because they're empty. I usually keep a little container. So they come with these little diamonds at Dollar Tree, little different colors. So you're going to take one of these jars. You're going to open it up, throw a couple shells in, throw some sand. And if you shake it upside down, just like this, this is what you get. The shells will stay at the top. It's a little, I wish it poofed out a little bit more, but that's okay. And we're just gonna hot glue it on top, right in the middle. I'm gonna put some similar to my other shadow boxes that I did at Christmas. Now, if you can't find these shelves at DT, you can also just look back on my video for my Christmas shadow boxes, which is totally all Jenga top, bottom. You can totally do this scene with those shadow boxes, just with all Jenga blocks if you cannot find these shelves. Now I'm going to put some greenery. I just wanted to add a little bit more greenery, and I really like being the neutral look. I really like the green and white. So I took one stem. Now this was in my stash with nothing on it, and they were already cut, so I was probably using it for another one. So I have 4 little stems here, and I'm just gonna hot glue a couple right on, 2 on each side, and just use some hot glue to, oops, this is stuck. I don't know what's stuck. 2 on each side, and also I'm going to bend it down a bit with the wire just so it hangs over nicely on both sides. Now on the very front, just on the lip right here, I wanted to put something just in the middle of there. I have this little star. It was a little pack that I got from Temu when I ordered from there. And they were really tiny, and you know, sometimes when you look at the pictures, I didn't look at the sizes. I'm just going to put it right on the front, glued right there as the greenery hangs over. Once I get those glued on, I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what the final build looks like. So once I glued this on, I thought that was it. And then I was looking that I really still wanted to add something to it. I got this colored moss from Dollar Tree. It actually comes in like red, like a neon green. They had blue, and I don't remember what the blue packet was on, the 2 mixed colors. I'm just going to use this really light beige, and I'm just going to fill it in underneath just to conceal the ends of the flowers and around the base, just to add a little something to it. And when I was looking at that, I said, you know what this one needs? Even though it's fine the way it is, I thought I want little feet on there. So a couple options you can do is you can just use some Dollar Tree cubes. They square up really nicely. I already placed it on. You can color them whatever color you want. That is really one idea. The idea I'm gonna go with is Dollar Tree had these little apples, And all I did was take a cutter and I pulled the stem really low in the grooves, and it came off perfectly. And you can just glue them right on like this or upside down with the stem on, and it looks really great. I'm gonna use this option and I'm gonna paint them white. Now there's also this one, and if you have something to cut wood, they also have little mushrooms at Dollar Tree. If you can cut it down flat, you could also use half circles if you have as well, just on the bottom, just to make it finish this project. All right, so here it is, finish. I found a couple little more the same size as the starfish, so I just put a little anchor and a shell up there. I think it turned out really well, and if you want to turn the light off, just press it up. And the little eggs on it. You can also visit my page on Facebook, The Crafty Shopper, if you have any questions. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What's everybody working on? Are we already starting Halloween? Because I've seen a lot of crafters starting Halloween. I'm just getting started with the Nautical. Have a great day. Happy crafting. See you soon. Bye.